Hello my beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. I'm Andy and today it's going to be my first video essay. I'm really excited about it because we're going to be tackling something that I didn't know before, which is ZILLENIALS, which is a generation in between millennials and Generation Z. So stay tuned to know everything about it. So why I'm deciding to do this video? Well, because me myself, I was born in 2000s, but I never feel Gen Z because I think they are always, portraying Gen Z as these people that do TikToks and all these new trends, which I follow, and I can't deny that I've done some of them, but it's not part of my identity or something like that. I don't know how to explain it. And yeah, it was really interesting to discover this generation, and I really want to tackle all about it. So before we begin, because I'm in YouTube, remember to subscribe, give it a like and comment. Okay, first of all, we are going to be giving a wee description about Gen Z and millennials. So I'm going to be checking because I don't want to do any mistakes. So millennials, also known as Generation I, are those people that were born between 1980s and mid-1990s, although there is a more in-depth categorization where there are the old millennial and then the younger millennials. Everything is categorized here. Then Gen Z will be those born in mid-90s to 2000, and are those who come after millennials and sometimes are referred as post-millennials. Okay, both of them have different behaviors and we are going to be tackling those now. Millennials' characteristics, following Genatwix studies, says that those people that are more of a dreamers. I mean, they have good and bad characteristics, of course, as any generation, but they are kind of dreamers. This might be because they were born in economic stability. However, they are also entrepreneurs and really interested in other cultures. On the other hand, Gen Z, they are more, how can I express it? Let's say that they are more focused because they were born during economic recession, like not that stable, because there was a crisis, of course, so they are more stable. They are always focusing on or more worried about their future. Say that Gen Z, it's more realistic or pragmatic. They are also very analytical about their decisions, as the Genatwix study says, and they are digital natives and they have interest in politics. So we already explained what millennials are or Gen Z is, but who are ZILLENIALS then? You may be wondering, and that's why we are probably clicking on this video. So I'm going to be reading the definition, of course, because I don't want to miss anything. So according to Urban Dictionary, is the classification for a group of persons born 3 years after millennials and 3 years before Gen Z. So basically they have a mixed traits of both generations. They are a micro generation. Other sources mention that the determining factor of ZILLENIALS comes down to whether or not they remember the tragic events of the 9/11. Whereas millennials were old enough to fully understand the events, Gen Z might not even be, even born, or, well, like me, I was 1 year old, so yeah, ZILLENIALS meanwhile have memories of the events, with maybe most of them starting school at the time. It's that type of experience that underpins the difference between the two groups. So ZILLENIALS are runs between 93 to 98, and they are not young millennials, neither older Gen Z. Because, again, like inside millennials there are younger and older millennials, and then inside Gen Z there is young Gen Z, I think, and older Gen Z. But then there is this gap between 93 to 98 where those are considered ZILLENIALs, but not everyone put them there. Like, I mean, there is this, let me check it. So the barriers in ZILLENIALs are not very strict or like concrete. The article wrote by Petruana Radulvik for France Polygon State, I think. I will try to put it on the box below the article. She actually put ZILLENIAL, between 92 to 2000s. So that means I'm a ZILLENIAL. But then there are those that says that it's between 93 to 98. One of the main differences between these three generations is that Gen Z, they were born with iPad in their fingertips. They are digital natives. On the other hand, millennials, they kinda develop with new technologies. Like, they discover them, right? Like, they were like launched during their time, and then ZILLENIAL's first phone was like a flip or slide up before quickly move onto the BlackBerry sphere. Just a quick reminder that I'm doing this video from my own experience, because I was born in 2000s and I don't consider myself a millennial or Gen Z. This video is a bit also about my own experience and about my childhood. So when I was like 6-7 years old, I wasn't doing TikTok. TikTok didn't even exist because that was 2006 to 2007. I remember playing in the street with friends, watching Brandy and Mr. Whiskers on Disney Channel, and of course a lot of Disney Channel series and cartoons. So it was this period that doesn't fit into the Gen Z standard for me. It's all these memories that doesn't fit in this new portrait of the Gen Z, if that makes sense. So yeah, my childhood was mainly Disney Channel, and I remember watching what's the name for that show? Let me check it, because I know it in Spanish, but I don't know the show name in English, that's why. Recess and American Dragon, etc. Like really good shows. I think because I was born in Spain, everything there aired later, so maybe it's that also play a huge role, like watching this type of shows that are considered millennial. I will put a link down below in the box about all the pop culture shows that are considered millennial, because I remember watching Wizards of Waverly Place, Sweet Life, I think, with Zack and Cody, and also what is the name? Lizzie McGuire, Raven, like a lot of iconic shows that are considered millennial, and I will of course put the link down below so you can check all those shows. It's a really interesting video, so I really invite you to go and watch it. I was also a huge fan of Rugrats. Maybe that's a bit of a generational overlap show. As you can see, today I'm wearing the rectangle top because I think it was so suitable for this video. I was a huge fan, and I remember myself like watching the transition in my house from the VHS tapes to the DVD. So that's why I can consider myself a Gen Z again, because that was like a huge improvement. Like I think millennials used to watch VHS tapes, and as I say, in my house when I was like 4 till 6, 7, I used to watch all those movies on tapes. I have the Monster Inc. one, which was like a blue tape one, and I love that one because it's one of my Pixar favorite movies. Yeah, I lived that transition. I used to go to video clubs to rent like all these tapes from Disney to Barbie, and a lot of like comedy, also films for family like Tip by Dozen or Beethoven, a lot of movies. So yeah, I think that's a bit of a millennial thing, right? Going to the video club. Yes, if you remember anything about your childhood, like, you know, experience related to video club, please comment down below. Even I grew up watching, you know, the Disney Channel ads about the new Blu-ray version, and I remember like during Christmas they make advertisements about the new DVDs, the Blu-ray versions of the Disney Princess or whatever, that it's kind of retro now. Then I grew up playing Nintendo, Tamagotchi, playing like, I don't know the name in English, like this, doing these bracelets with like plastic kind of like ropes. I don't know how to explain it. I will put a photo here so you can see what I mean. So yeah, lots of toys, trends, little pet shops, Polly Pocket, lot of toys, not any technology involved, because obviously phones were only used by businessmen or like parents, you know, like we kids were impossible to have a mobile phone back then. I remember a friend of mine, his father used to work in a mobile phone company, and he used to give her like fake phones to try, and we were always asking her. She was really nice. She used to give us those phones for free because they were fake, you know, and we used to play like we were older people. It was really funny, but I never ever imagined that one day kids my age will use those with a lot of apps and, you know, that huge development that it happened. Because obviously when I was like 11 at that time, maybe even 10, like those phones or the phones that were used in that time, like Blackberries and stuff, have like very basic apps. And, you know, I never imagined the huge improvement and all the Instagram or creating video apps. There are apps for everything actually, and it's really incredible. So yeah, we used to play a lot to Nintendo with Animal Crossing, Mario, lot. That was like our phone and our apps, you know what I mean? And also there was lots of like little video game type of thing. I remember I never had it, but I always wanted to have this doll in like a little house, and it was a machine that you play. I will put also photos. I don't remember the name and I don't know how to explain it well, but you know, photos will help. When I was like 7, 8 years old, I think, we even used to have like MP3 players. I grew up with my sister. She was born in 96, so she's 4 years older than me, and she even used to have her MP3 And this is really curious because I was talking with a friend the other day, and she was like, you know, I think like people born in 2000s, whatever, like early 2000s, but they have an older, like they have older siblings or cousins that are millennials or almost millennials. They have huge influence of them, and that's why maybe they don't feel like Gen Z. because she was born in 2001, but she's an only child, and she considered herself GenZ. So regarding the mock phones that we use back in my school during during the break on recess, so I was telling to you, like, we used to take those phones, pretend that we were adults and stuff. So I think my friends actually have their proper mobile phone when they were like 12. Me myself, I have my first phone with 11 years old, and you will say, Andy, but you tell us that you didn't have a phone before. Well, I had, but that can't even consider a phone, because it was like a SpongeBob BlackBerry. It was only, to call my parents. It didn't have any cool apps or anything, and it was trending only like for a few months during that summer, because when I turned 12, everyone entered high school there, and all my friends have the iconic Samsung Mini that everyone used to have at that time, with like lots of apps, and I was, the one with the SpongeBob BlackBerry. My parents didn't want to change my phone because, they were like, it's enough, you can call us, and that's what is important. And I was like, but I can't do anything, I don't have WhatsApp, I don't have apps, I want like a real phone. But actually I'm kind of grateful that they didn't give me a phone till I was 13, and actually they didn't want me to have one till I was like 15 or 16. But the thing is that one summer my uncle, he was selling his iPhone 4, and he told me like, okay, you can have it, I will give it to you as a present. And I was so thrilled. And when I came back to Spain, I was like the popular one, because everyone has like Samsung. iPhone was a big thing, it was really expensive, and they couldn't believe like the girl with the SpongeBob BlackBerry turns up to have like the iPhone 4. But again, it was only like for 1 year, because I remember the following summer after I got my iPhone 4, they start selling the iPhone 5, and everyone had the iPhone 5, and I was again like, in like the nerd or the loser group. I don't know how to explain it, but you got me there. The thing is that honestly, I didn't want an iPhone 5 or anything. I was really happy with my iPhone, but a huge thing, I could have all the apps, and I was really happy about it. And I have the iPhone for almost like 4 or 5 years until I couldn't update it anymore. And I was going on exchange like for summer, and my mother was like, you need a proper phone. So I think it was on 2017 when I finally got an iPhone 7, and that's what I'm right now still using. That's my life with phones, like shortly. During my childhood, I grew up with all these millennial shows, playing Nintendo, Tamagotchi, as I already told. I never considered myself Gen Z because until months ago, I didn't even have TikTok. It's something that I started using it, I think, last summer. So Instagram even, like I used Instagram when I was already done, like once I graduate high school. And I remember all my friends used to have social media just when they start high school with 12 years old, which for me was really weird. And even when I had my iPhone 4, I didn't have any account or anything. I was really focused on my studies, and I think it was the best decision, honestly. And talking with my friend, the one I told you about, the 2001 year, like 2001, which is 1 year younger than me, she was like, oh, that late 2010 era, that hit me hard, and that's why I think I have those Gen Z strong feelings, because I was on social media since I was really young and stuff. So maybe that's the main difference too. But I must say that me myself, I've been involved in Fridays for Future for 1 year and a half, something like that, back in Spain, and I am really concerned about climate issues and stuff, which is actually like a trait of GenZ. So it's a mix, you know. So yeah, I don't think there's a necessity, or I don't think it makes sense to do battles about like generations. So please don't do that in the comments, like start fighting about generation, because there's no point. I think like every time we get together, millennials doing TikToks or Gen Z doing trends of millennials, whatever, it's something magnificent. It's like we are building a community strong together, you know, and supporting each other. That's what is important. Being grateful for the other generations who has taught us so many things, and be grateful for the new ones because they keep teaching us things. Okay guys, so that was my first video essay. I hope you like it. I hope I did it well. I'm really nervous, honestly, and I'm really happy that you are here and you're watching it. Please make sure to check the box below, because I'm probably going to put videos and articles related to zillennials and pop culture, millennials, and all what I mentioned before. Please, if you are from 2000s like me, comment down below if you feel Gen Z or zillennial. I really want to read all your comments. Make sure to subscribe, give it a like if you like the video, of course. I'm not forcing anyone, and I will see you really soon. Bye!